Hello friends, near and far, dear to my heart, I'm Victoria with Aligned Soul Tarot. This reading will be for Sagittarius and all Sag placements found within your birth chart. Cross watchers, you are welcome here. Take the messages as you see fit and make sure to watch for your other placements. We're going to dive into some astrology for the rest of October, but this reading is truly timeless. So whatever sort of astrological events I'm talking about, it can ring true for you when you find this reading, okay? It truly is timeless. And if it doesn't resonate, don't make it fit, right? Check back later. Check my Patreon as well for all my extended love readings and the general love reading for October. The link is below, as well as supportive eclipse content. I have an eclipse playlist with the post-eclipse reading I just did, full moon at Aries, talking about some astrology for 2025. I have a lot of supportive content also on Patreon. Jupiter and Gemini, which is now retrograde, I have a reading on Patreon. And I also have an extension of the post-eclipse full moon in Aries reading on Patreon. So join me there if you like me as a reader and you want to go deeper into some supportive messages as we ring in the new year, right? So Sagittarius, we're still in October technically, right? So let's talk about what has been and what's kind of coming right into November. We're already emerging into Scorpio season. We've been feeling it with the presence of Venus in Scorpio, but guess what, Sag? You are taking the stage, right? It's a beautiful way for you to prepare for your solar return, which is not that far away, right? So Venus in your sign is a great gift. You know, Venus and Jupiter offer such value in our lives. And although Jupiter in Gemini is transiting your 7th house and it's retrograde, I don't look at retrogrades as negative. You know, I'm not a doom and gloom reader. And I really look at all things as teachers, as lessons, and it being a strength year. You know, I've been really talking upon this a lot about, we're really trying to pull on this resilience. And I was talking to Capricorn about the final reserves of Pluto in Capricorn. You know, this Plutonic energy is very significant right now, and we will talk more about it in the November reading when Pluto goes into Aquarius and what that means for each sign. But as of now, it's still in your 2nd house. Okay, so you are really feeling into this Scorpionic transit in your 12th house, and then the 2nd house, and then Mars in Cancer in your 8th house. This is a very deep dive for you. And again, this Venus energy is kind of supporting you. It's very supportive in these values. 2nd house, Pluto is Taurus. Venus is ruled by Taurus. So this is very Venusian energy for you as you exit October. You know, you're still going to be feeling this Venus in Sag as we move into November till November 11th. So enjoy it right before your solar return, right? This idea of gifts and this presence of the Temperance card was showing up for you as I was doing your meditation. Because with this kind of transiting 12th house, and again, when I talk about transits, I'm reading for sun and ascendant signs, but say you're watching for another placement, it may just resonate as well, but just know that that's what I'm talking about. If you want a detailed birth chart reading or a 6-month transit reading, we can really feel into what this uniquely looks like for you. This is a general reading, of course, but Scorpio energy for you, we have Sun and Mercury in Scorpio transits naturally your 12th house, Pisces. We have Saturn in Pisces. We have this Pluto in Capricorn. So it's very Pluto Saturnian energy, okay? And this kind of Mars in Cancer until November 4th, you're going to be feeling into 8th house, which is Scorpio. So you govern and rule the 9th house, right? And this is why I was feeling into the Temperance Angel, Temperance card, Major Arcana for Sag. And then this 8th and 12th house significance, okay? This is a deep dive. This is 3 of the houses that all represent the subconscious realms. Very much dreamy vibes. You know, Venus, I talked about this almost 2 years ago now. It was when Venus was in Leo retrograde. It was last summer. Yeah, last summer. And I did a reading on this. You can follow me on Instagram if you want to watch my posts and my stuff that I post about myself. And I was talking about Venus and the fine art of rejection and rejecting people, because again, Pluto in Capricorn has been teaching you all about second house, your values, what you have, emotional security, physical security, right? And so with this sense of identity, value, what you value, if you have an understanding of that, right? Not all of you may do, right? You might not always know, and that's okay. Our values change, our beliefs can change, we are evolving, hopefully. I believe in evolutionary astrology. So our charts evolve, we evolve, if we so choose, of course, the power of free will. So we can go through major moments, and I feel like you have been for quite some time with your value system. What do you want? What do you desire? And what don't you, right? And that's where Venus comes in, especially Venus in your sign, is to be able to recognize and identify what it is that you truly want. What do you value? What do you need? What are you prioritizing to reap the rewards of this energy for you? And Jupiter in Gemini naturally transits your 7th house. Gemini is your opposite. It being retrograde, it's a time to really be humble ourselves. Jupiter can be very excessive, especially in Gemini. You and your opposite share a lot in common. There's a thirst for knowledge. There's this desire to understand, especially now with this transiting Scorpio in your 12th house and Mars in your 8th house. Questioning the whys and the why nots and digging deeper. Buried treasure is what I think about with the 8th house. What's hidden? What are you hiding from and why? And also, again, Jupiter retrograde, it appears as though it's going backwards in the sky. So it's descending, right, to the underworld, Scorpio. And so as Jupiter kind of takes a break and Saturn takes the stage, we do have to kind of sit down and get really clear again about our values for you, Sag. And also with Jupiter retrograde is the many, many, many gifts that you have been given, right? And I'm getting reminded of people like in third world countries that, they don't even have clean water or a roof over their head. And as you know, the world at large is on fire. There's many things happening. So I truly feel that Jupiter retrograde right now is a time for us to really be humble and to be grateful for whatever it is, whether it's big or small in your life, and to honor those things, value those things. Like Saturn is teaching us always is to know that our time here is limited. And although we might dance off into the realms, right? And we'll talk about this angelic stuff for you. We might dance off into another realm, right? 12th house, past lives. You could be pondering such things right now with the Scorpio energy. All we have is now. Let's stay here now. Be here now, right? Be here now. Stay present, okay? Because this 12th house energy transiting Scorpio can be a little elusive and kind of slipping between the cracks, and let yourself indulge in those spaces, but also catch a glimpse of reality every so often, and just try to humble yourself and be present. Be present, be here now is what I'm hearing. So as I was meditating on your energy, I saw the Temperance card. Of course, Sag. It's your card, and it kind of led into Temperance. It first started off as tame, and then temper, and then temperance. So there's some significance there. Tame, temper, temperance. These things are very much symbolic for what temperance means, and there's way more depth to it, of course. And we're going to read from Carl Jung, Tarot and the Archetypal Journey. Excuse me. And there's a little piece of this book I want to read for you before we get into your reading. But yeah, tempering oneself, grounding oneself, as you know in the card. I'm going to show you here. 1 foot on water, 1 on land. This is the balance between earth and water. We are experiencing a lot of watery energy right now, okay? So this grand trine that we've had in water, it's a time to be more receptive and to allow that fire, Sag, to be tempered, and to, again, be humble, sit down. You know, I just heard Kendall Kumar. I just keep hearing that word of balance for you. You know, it's very interesting to think of Sag as the temperance angel, but you know, this is an evolved Sag, I would say, one that has learned many things and actually applied that wisdom, right? Because the thing about Gemini and Sag, especially now that we're kind of feeling into this Jupiter and Gemini retrograde, and it's in your 7th house, so it's very significant for you, is there's a thirst for knowledge and truth and understanding. And again, it can get to be excessive when we're always reaching for more and never really being grateful for what we have right in front of us. And Sag, you know, generalize, I should say, depending on your chart, this is going to look very different. This is a general reading, so don't take it personally. They can be a bit excessive sometimes, right? Overindulgent, you know, and maybe you can relate to a period in your life where you were that person. Maybe you still are. So this temperance card is always a reminder to kind of check yourself a bit, ground yourself, and also connect with source, connect with spirit. There's so much happening for you with this 12th house. There's so much around you that's requiring you to stay present. And there's so much awareness, right? This crown is being illuminated. This is the after tarot, by the way. It's a little bit different than the Rider-Waite. And there's something that's being freed here. You know, because in the Rider-Waite deck, these two cups represented as the 2 of Cups, harmony within oneself, right? It doesn't have to just be love. But 7th house Jupiter transit, you know, this very much could be about relationships for you. But the thing I'm seeing here is, you know, maybe with Jupiter retrograde is, instead of them alchemizing together, there is this polarity, right? One is being dumped into this well, which I see this as 12th house, you know, the depths of the water, and then air, right? As above, so below. It's not really alchemizing here. There's this perception of both in this card. And so there's such a significance here for you with connecting to source. Also, birds can represent messages coming in for you, especially 12th house, right? Your dreams could be very prophetic. And I wrote down here, observe the presence of spirit in all things, right? You don't have to be religious, right? You don't have to believe in even angels. Angels can simply be energy, right? A flower, the wind blowing in your hair, the sun, just the simple, subtle things that you can observe, the subliminal messages with that bird showing up there. There could be subliminal messages and things, and allowing yourself to slow down, temperance, right? Temper yourself to indulge in this mystery, in this void, in this balance of as above, so below. And then I heard, or in my head, I should say, and I wrote this down, Morse code, so you could feel like you're trying to decipher lots of things. And I'll be doing a Mercury retrograde reading, as Mercury will prepare to go retrograde at the end of November. Stay tuned for that. So yeah, there could be a little bit of like having to read between the lines, 12th house in Scorpio for you. And then I heard crack the code. So the more that you can practice your major arcana this month, right? Be here now. Now is all you have, Sag. There will be significant awareness, insight coming in for you, okay? All right, let's read from this book real quick before we pull some cards. So it says, the angel Temperance does not announce herself with blinding light, right, or clash of symbols. Rather, she stands before us quietly as an enduring presence, unlike the angel of judgment, Scorpio, pictured in card 20, who will burst through the barrier which separates the celestial from the terrestrial to appear in a blaze of glory in the skies. The angel Temperance, as befits her name, stages no dramatic entrance. In fact, she makes no entrance at all. She is simply there. Be here now. Absorbed in the business of pouring out, being vulnerable, right? It's very vulnerable to sit in these spaces of the Temperance card. One feels that this winged being is not newly descended from heaven, but has been standing there a long time waiting for the hero to become aware of her. Oh, so it's almost like this presence is with you always. It always has been. And maybe there is this renounced understanding of such things. And that's the beauty, that's the significance, is when you notice her, him, whatever you identify this as for yourself. It can be many things, this temperance angel, deity, whatever you practice, but it's just energy, right? It says, according to ancient belief, each living person, animal, and plant had its guardian angel. Perhaps this is the hero's good angel. If she bears a message for him, it is conveyed by her actions, which seem to say, patience, faith. There are powers operating in the universe and in yourself, which are beyond your everyday experiences. Trust these deeper currents of life. Let yourself flow with them. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. All right, let's get into your message here, Sag. So lots of flow. Be here now. All right, where are we going to pull from first? Let's pull from the wild unknown archetypes for Sagittarius. The cards are already flying. Whoa, let me shuffle. Temperance. Temper yourself cards. Sag, what do we have for my beautiful Sagittarius? Whenever you find this, thank you for following me here on YouTube. Thank you for joining me in this space that we get to create together. Oh my God, of course you get this card. Anima Mundi. This is 12th house. This is like the last card I believe in this deck, of course. Yeah, you're going to be feeling into the deep, deep, deep. And, you know, for you out there, if you're not, you know, most people, I should say, if you're finding me here, you are spiritually inclined. You know, this isn't your first rodeo, but hey, some of you could be going through, again, some identity shifts, changes, where you thought you knew what you knew and you believed what you believed. And, you know, that could be something for Sag. That's a big lesson, I would have to say. And that's what your opposite Gemini definitely teaches you, is more perception, a wider spectrum of ideas and philosophies. You know, Gemini is thirsty for knowledge, much like you, but you tend to narrow in and stay more fixed on one thing at a time. And, you know, whereas Gemini can be scattered, Sag can be too fixed and maybe not bend as easily. And there's a time and a place for that. And, you know, it served you to some extent when maybe something was helping you or assisting you. You had a truth, the sword, and you're like, that's my truth, and I'm sticking to it. And then it comes a time when you dive into this 12th house influence, Pisces. You know, we all are feeling it, but it's really coming up strongly for you in Scorpio season, where you kind of have to go deeper. Again, there's a treasure down there, and I feel like you felt like you got everything you needed, right? But then there's something more. There's more than meets the eye, is what I want to say. There's a deepening here with Anima Mundi of a connection to all things. And again, that book was saying with the Temperance card, it's like this presence has been with you all along. You just had to realize that. It's like the power within has always been there. And the more that you can slow down and enjoy the simple things, the more that you can experience this Anima Mundi. We also have the Queen here, whether you're male or female. This is connecting in with that more receptive energy. Queen, king, you know, when I think of queen, it's a very receptive, high priestess kind of vibes here, right? Much like the temperance angel, that doesn't have to make a huge scene. It doesn't have to be dramatic and have claws and like judgment, rectification, like they were saying in the book, you know, the skeletons rising from the crypt. I'm getting rid of like tales from the crypt. You know, the temperance is just there, much like the high priestess. Very stoic, very present, very calm, you know, like Jedi, almost like Jedi energy, ninja status. You know, the queen in her glory, or king, it's very present. And there's such presence when they enter the room, empress, emperor, that's like almost like time stands still. Like it's very magnetic. Venus in Sag could be really pulling people in because of this receptive kind of energy, but it does require you to allow yourself to experience it and believe in it. The sword, the truth. What is your truth? The river here, yeah, there could be lots of depth that's happening for you, and it's spirit, temperance, angels saying, hey, go deeper. There's more. It gets better is what I heard. I'm seeing like, you know, those really corny like commercials. If you're a 90s kid, then you remember all the infomercials. And but wait, there's more. And it's like for $9.99 you can get I'm getting reminded of those cheesy marketing schemes. But wait, there's more. Oh my God, so funny. What is there for Sag? What is this? What's more? What more do we have to say here for Sag? Voyage, stillness, of course, yeah. Lots of this stillness coming out for you. You're on a voyage. Look at this watery energy, the whale. Such a deep well of knowledge, Sag. You have gained something for sure. The Sag that I'm connecting with. Also, I'm getting reminded here, because this is very delicate, right? Whether you're male or female, I'm getting a lot of things at once, so bear with me, okay? Because the swan to me is very feminine, graceful. This is also like union in a lot of decks, because the swan pairs for life. Okay, and the queen is here. But the whale also is very wise, old. This is the whale reminds me of also Pisces, 12th house, right? The deep ocean. Also, the whale is ancestral. I think of certain animals as ancestors. I think that every animal represents a significance to our ancestors. You know, when people pass on, they might show up in an animal, right? Reincarnation, that kind of thing. But there are certain animals, for me at least, what I connect with. I've been really connecting with the lions. And there's just times in my life when I'm gravitated towards certain animals, deities, entities, whatever you want to call it. But for me, personally, the whale is very wise. And there is this presence in the eye. Like I'm urging you to go look up some images of, I've been looking into lions, right? Lions' eyes, when you stare into their eyes, there's like endless void. It takes you on a voyage, right? It might take you on a voyage if you stare deeply into a whale's eye. There's so much there. It's like almost just looking at the picture or watching a video, like you're gonna get downloads and insight. You're gonna gain some awareness, the sword here. But also tying in with the queen, like I was saying, this is a kind of a feminine, receptive energy, whether you're male or female, is you could be healing some maternal wounds, or you could just be practicing more care, tending to yourself, being more delicate with yourself, much like a flower, you know, it's very fragile, where maybe you have been more cutting before. And this receptive kind of energy, this stillness that's required for you right now it's healing, temperance. There's so much in the silence. There's so much power in the silence. Also, I'm getting reminded for you to listen to whales, you know, the sound of whales. Maybe you could just sit back and listen to, you know, whales for a while. That sounds fun to me. I don't know about you. It could be very healing. I know personally, if you watch me on Instagram, I've been like posting lion stuff left and right. Like I've just been mesmerized by their presence, and I feel my ancestors within the lion spirit. But yeah, whales, you know, I listen to their roar and it's just like, oh, I just feel their cry. I feel their call. You might have a connection with swans or whales in that way. Sound therapy, sound healing through animal medicine. All right, let's see for Sag. Being near water as well, Where do you have water in your chart? I would like you to look into that. Maybe watch for those placements as well this month, because this is a very watery energy. The Chariot, Cancer. Wow. More water. Ace of Wands. Lovely. There's that fire and water, Temperance. When I think of fire and water, I think of a volcano. Or I see like a steam room or a sauna. So there could be some tension as well with the 12th house. Again, it's what's hidden. And like I said, not all of you are so spiritually inclined, and it could be very shocking or surprising what's coming in for you. Again, you might have thought you knew it all, or you had all the answers, and now you're realizing like, holy shit, there's so much more to learn. There's so much more to see. But wait, there's more, Sag. You could be getting a sense of vitality right now. A Venus in your sign could really be blowing some steam up your you-know-what. Chariot is all about movement with the Ace of Wands. This is like power boost. Also, I just see forward direction, because with this paired stillness and Anima Mundi, which I will read on actually too, just to see if there's any extra words there for you. You know, when I think of the Chariot and the Ace of Wands, it's like move in silence is what I'm seeing here, or like moving, treading lightly, but you're moving. Also what I'm getting here, bear with me, there's stuff coming in. Although you might be standing still, right? When you observe something, right? When you see something that's breathtaking, right? Whether it's a whale or a flower or just a picture or someone, something, a landscape, it could be anything. And it just takes your breath away. It ignites something with the Ace of Wands, Chariot. But you're not even moving, but it feels like the world is just moving, right? Everything, you know, like in those movies with like romantic novels or a romance movie where like everything slows down and, you know, that kind of cheesy like vibe. Things are moving, right, around you, but you feel, and within you, I should say, there's lots of movement happening, but you're not having to move. It makes sense. Like when you think about healing in general, most of us think that healing is all about doing. Yes, there are things, Saturn, that we need to do, and we're definitely having to implement those things. But there is a lot of healing that's taking place for you, and it does require action here, but also there is a lot of healing happening, maybe in your dreams, in the stillness, in the reflection, when you slow down, when you give yourself time. Again, self-care, King of Pentacles, yeah. Self-care, you know, when I saw the, wow, 10 of Pentacles, death. Whew, Scorpio. Oh my gosh. So much scorpionic energy for you. Death, 10 of Pentacles. Okay, so this death here, we're going to clarify it, but this is such a beautiful deck. Look at this card. Wow. Kind of reminds me of the Grateful Dead. That moon phase, what is that? Before I continue here, I want to, that's gaining light. So this death is going to be potentially, this death card, this energy could be very significant after the new moon, because this is the waxing crescent, which is right after the new moon. So within like 5 days, 4 or 5 days after the new moon, which is, I believe, November 2nd. And I'll be doing a new moon reading here as well on YouTube, so stay tuned for that. You could be emerging into this Ace of Wands Chariot. And interestingly enough, this person's eyes are closed. And again, there's like all this life that's, you know, there's this death process, but there's a life emerging around them and within them. I'm getting reminded, there's so much stuff coming for you. Like the Matrix, you know, when they're in those pods, you know, when they're, oh my God, this is so trippy. The Matrix. All right, Sag, we're tapping into the Matrix. My phone was like, no, do not relay the message. No, I'm going to relay the message. So symbolically, the Matrix talks about many things. If you haven't watched the movie, then you should go watch it, because it's definitely going to be significant to this death kind of process. When you think about Keanu Reeves waking up from the Matrix, and they were in that pod, right? The liquid pod, and they're all like plugged into their, I think that's their hippocampus. I don't know I think the hippocampus is down here, right? At the kind of base of our skull. Because I'm seeing the skull here. So there's something about your skull. Like you might be getting tension headaches or pressure here, but when you get unplugged, you know, that truth, the sword, everything that you thought was reality is now not, you know? And so I see this shutting Ace of Wands and a reemergence into something new, a new reality, a new perception, a new way of looking, a new way of thinking, feeling, sensing, tasting, smelling. You know, because the King of Pentacles is earth, so this is very earthly, 5 senses. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, you very well could have earth in your chart, but there is so much wealth here if you allow yourself to go through this death process. I want to actually clarify this death card for you. What does this signify? What is it that Sag is going through, this death rebirth cycle? What is this about? What is this significance here for Sag? Wow. Whoa. Well, there's the Tower. Yeah. There's the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. So insecurity, it says there, failure, right? This is a lost legacy, failed attempts, 10 of Pentacles. This could be disconnecting from family traditions, you know, family legacy. Again, what's your truth? You could be, you know, maybe a born-again Christian or born-again spiritualist. Maybe you're practicing new practices, right? Scorpionic energy right now is definitely calling you to emerge. Look at you. You're coming out. This is what is this being recycled, I should say. The great compost just coming to collect. Death card. 9 of Wands, Sag moon here. It takes courage to walk through the fire, to emerge again, be born again. But things need to fall. Old, outdated beliefs, traditions need to go, because this is here. 10 of Pentacles, King of Pentacles, stability, longevity, indulgence, right? Pleasure, nourishment. King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, satisfaction, 10 of Pentacles. Ace of Wands, you know, is play, pleasure, love, expression, hope. Ace of Wands is refound hope, right? After some part of you, aspect of you. This is Chiron, so your Chiron placement was so much that you're shedding here. And although it is hard, right, there's an upheaval, things are changing, right? You're getting unplugged. You're waking up, Sag. What a beautiful reading here. And don't be scared by the Tower. This is necessary, because everything surrounding this death, Tower, 9 of Wands, you know, is beautiful. It's very, very beautiful here. You know, you definitely shed or are shedding, right? All of you are different right now, but there's a deepening. Wherever you are, Sag, there is a deepening. Remember the message about treasure? There's more. Wait, there's more. You could be going through like your 3rd death process, you know? Because some of you could have had like a near life experience before. You know, ego death, as they say. I don't believe in the ego ever dying. It's just a unification, temperance, unifying forces. You know, and this is the persistence that it takes to go through this fire again. 9 of Wands, Sag. You know, it takes being vulnerable. It takes movement. It takes initiation, Chariot, Ace of Wands. And it's not all action oriented. Like I said, there's a balance here. There is movement, but it's also subtle. And the subtle things in your perception, in your waking life, be here now. Luck is on your side, Sag. As I cut the deck, there you are. It's time to release negativity. Yeah. The 9 of Wands, that could be a shadow side of that card, although it does represent strength, courage, persistence, success, valor, discipline. And that is required to, again, go through death and tower, you know, because it can be unexpected and it can really stifle us. It can make us feel uneasy, you know. None of this is easy. You know, this is a very deep reading, Sag, but there's so much on the other side of this. You know, but the negative, I should say, of the Knight of Wands is being guarded, you know. Stubborn, fixed, you know. Unshakable force. But yeah, there is something that is being shaken. Interesting, because on this card in this deck it says unshakable force, and then you got the Tower. And the Tower will shake anything, any foundation that is not, it's not built on quality material. Ten of Pentacles, right? You're being called to build something very stable. Longevity, when I think of these two cards. Good quality material. You know, the Nine of Wands served you up until this moment, but you're releasing negativity. Communication is key. Jupiter in Gemini. This is new moon in Gemini. Communication is key. Yes, very much so. All right, I want to read from the Anima Mundi before we move on to your love reading. Literally the last card. And it breaks down to 7. Okay, so this is definitely a lot to do with Jupiter retrograde here with new moon in Gemini showing up. Again, we have Aries, Leo, Sag, Scorpio, Virgo, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, really. Pisces, you know, lots of Pisces influence for you. And then Cancer. Let's read Anima Mundi. So this is about tending to the sacred details of life. Look at that, beautiful. It's like a starfish. The star. A star is born. It says, the embrace of Anima Mundi is available anytime, anywhere, to anyone, day or night, rich or poor. It is a process of unveiling our resistance to its love. It says Anima Mundi epitomizes the principle, accept all, reject none. Simply put, it is the living soul of the world in all its multifaceted, multidimensional layers, bonded together by the loving cosmic forces. Diversity is celebrated, multiplicity is honored, and nothing is denied. So yeah, this is about empathy, communication for you as well. Again, celebrating life, celebrating the many deaths that you've encountered, shedding skin, right? Identity. This card indicates an initiation on the level of the soul. You will awaken the unique light within and witness how this light contributes to the radiance of the entire universe. You will sense yourself as a critical note in the cosmic orchestra. Destiny is altered as you hear the enchanted melody of all living things. So yeah, you are being called to really show gratitude to life. To life force, life energy, vitality, calling it in for yourself. It's right here. Ace of Wands. Wow. I hope you choose this death. I know that sounds morbid as all hell, but welcome to Scorpio season. This death is so deep. You're going deep. Below this death, you know, and I'm getting reminded, I know this sounds kind of morbid, but, you know, bear with me here. The treasure, buried treasure, is that the soil, this body, you know, when you think of being buried, death, you know, our bodies, life, talking about all life forces, it composts into the earth and it gives back to the earth. It's a way to give back, an offering of sorts. It's a treasure, right? It's like this body becomes treasure. Interesting symbolism there. So as you give something, as you release something, right? We saw it's time to release negativity. As you release negativity, Sag, I see you like offering. You could literally be going and offering something to the earth. You know, there's many rituals that you can do that. I've done this and I'll share this with you, where you can literally write a letter or bury something in the ground. Bury the letter in the ground, right? Dig a hole, give an offering even. Offer something up to source, temperance, angel, spirit. Release it and give an offering. That could be something that you could literally do. All right. And it could be right around the new moon because the waxing crescent, it could be, you know, 3 to 5 days after the new moon that you do this. All right. Sag and love. We're going to take this over to the love reading. I hope this reading helped you. And if you want to go deeper with me in a private reading, you can find my website below with all my helpful services. I have a ton of different style readings, astrology and tarot style readings. For you, I'm really feeling like an ancestral reading would be really beneficial for you. Honoring your passed down loved ones is coming up here. All right, let's see. Whoa. Venus. Well, hello, Venus. It's showing its face here. It's in your sign. This could also be Taurus, Libra that you could be dealing with in love. A strong Taurus, fire sign. Let's see here. What signs is Sag dealing with in love? What signs? Oh, Pluto. Scorpio. The underworld. So much Scorpio energy for you right now. My goodness. So this is very significant to Pluto and Capricorn. You could be dealing with a Capricorn as well. So this is talking about now, this love dynamic. What we're going to be talking about. What else for Sag and love? Please show me the truth. Angels, guides, allies, ancestors, ascended masters. In love, Sag and love, Libra. We did see the Venus fire again. Wow. It could be Aries, Leo, Sag, Venus as Taurus, Libra. You could have, this is Libra's 7th house as well. We did talk about Jupiter and Gemini, 7th house. Someone could have a Libra and Pluto and Libra. Or a Venus in Libra. Or fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sag in Venus or Pluto, right? Let's get one more card for you in regards to love. Love, Sagittarius, who are they dealing with in love? Sag, Neptune, poor Pisces. Everything we've been speaking on. So these could be transits. These could be placements within your chart or theirs, right? This is just energy as well. Influence, even if you're single, right? So we're going to feel into your love reading. I hope to find you over there, Sag. If this is where we part, bye for now and take care.